Well. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another magnificent Monday right here in Miss G's Ladies Lounge. If you haven't already guessed it, I am your host, Gwen, Miss G. That's me. I'm so excited to be here with you all on tonight. I believe that this show is going to be another great chat here in the lounge. And we are so excited for our guests who's hanging out in the lounge, waiting for me to bring them on into the studio. So, what I need for you to do for me is to take a moment to like, tag, and share. Tell your friends that we are live, we are on, we are ready to roll. Listen, it's been another, as I said, magnificent Monday. Things that we encounter all day is it doesn't compare to all the great things that God has done for us. So let's just thank Him for a quick moment. Father, we thank you. We give you praise. We give you all the glory and all the honor. We thank you for all that you've done. I pray that you will bless my guests, all of those that will join us, those that are alive, and those that will catch the replay. In Jesus' name, I pray. All right, so listen, I'm so excited to be here on tonight. I'm so excited for everything. I don't know if you caught that intro video. Just want to remind you that my Visionaries Prayer Guide is now available for pre-order. Visionaries Prayer Guide. Listen, it's going to take you day by day with a specific prayer each day to help bring your visions and your dreams into fruition. And even if you've already started, even if you're way advanced in what you're doing, it is never too much to pray day by day for even greater than what you are already doing. So I pray that you would just, think about getting that in your hands, not only for yourself, your friends, your family. Let someone know. I have a link, and I'll put it in the comment. In this link, you can go ahead and you can put your pre-order in today. So listen. We're going to bring our guests in on tonight. We have two wonderful women that are here who were not afraid to go after their vision and their dreams. And so tonight we're going to talk with them. We're going to speak with them. We have a mother and a daughter. How exciting is that? Listen, my mom is not here, but I'll tell you, I loved my mom. We used to travel together. We used to do different things together. And I absolutely adored my mom. We fought, we loved, we did everything, but we knew that she was the mama and I was the baby girl. And that's all that matters, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I want you to help me welcome my guests on today. So let me just introduce them to you just a little bit, okay? Okay, so you've seen their pictures, but I'm going to bring them to you live and in living color. Let me just tell you, I mean, a smidget about them, and we're going to chat with each of them. I'm going to bring in the mom first, because you know who came first? The mom came first, right? So tonight we have Vanessa Blackwell. She is known as the grief strategist, and she is an author and a certified grief support and joy restoration coach. We all need her in our life, right? The loss of both parents and all of her siblings, to include three sisters and a brother, sparked her purposeful journey into coaching. And she is the author of the Grief Helpline series, mentor, radio host, and a speaker. She has also penned a few other works. And so tonight we're going to speak with her about some of the great things that she has done. She has the Grief Helpline series. Let's welcome to the Miss G's Ladies Lounge, Miss Vanessa Blackwell. Hello.
Hello, thank you for that fabulous, fabulous introduction. That was really great. The videos and everything, that was nice. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I'm so glad to have you here with me. And we're glad to have you here with us, our audience, and everyone that's watching, if you're catching live or the replay. I know that this is going to bless you. Let me ask you just one question. Um, when you started working as a grief coach, did you think that you would, or grief strategist, as you call it, did you think that it would blossom into all that you're doing now?
No, I had no idea. I knew God was working and He was doing some things, but because like I was in the military and looking for the exit plan, couldn't figure
Right.
out what I wanted to do, and no, I didn't want to go back to work for anyone else. So was looking into coaching, and I looked at several certifications, and God allowed me to get grief coach certified in 2012. Well, like you said, from my bio, I lost all my siblings, and my youngest sister, she was the last one to pass. She passed in 2014, and God
Mm,
brought me back right back to the grief certification and said that that was my purpose, that was my call, and that was why I was here. So I picked it up
wow.
and I walked with it.
That is so awesome. Listen, a lot of people would take that as that's it. You know, you can't do anything else but just talk to people. But you really worked through that to bring it to light in so many different ways. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But let's get your daughter in. We're so excited to have mother daughter. This is Women's History Month. And so just having the legacy right among us. That's a wonderful thing. So let's bring in Takia. Let me tell you guys a little bit about Takia. So Takia, she is an author, a coach, a speaker. She is a mother of two young men and one princess. And her hobbies include swimming, styling, hair, networking, and traveling. She is also an Army vet and who loves helping young girls. She is as well a licensed cosmetologist and a Girl Scout troop leader. She sounds like a busy young lady, right? So let's bring in, she is the author. Let me change this. She's the author of Pendulum of a Mother's Love, Finding Joy in the Journey, which I believe was also a part of Vanessa's history as well. And Your Wings Were Ready and My Heart Was Not. And they're going to explain all of that to us in just a little while. So let's bring Takia in. Hello.
Hi, Miss G. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I'm so glad to have you here with us.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Hi, everyone.
Yes. So I just have so many questions just rolling around in my head, and I just don't even know where I want to start. As I said, I was able to get your book, Pendulum of a Mother's Love, and it's so interesting. As I was reading it, I was thinking to myself, at one moment, I thought to myself, Well, my mom is no longer here. And I mean, in that very moment, I read the line that said, even if your mom has transitioned, I was like, they was reading my mind when they was writing this book. And so the book, it showed that the book is for everyone. And I don't have any children, any daughters, but you even went as far as to say those mother figures in your life. And so the book can be for anyone and everyone. And so I love that. So tell me, Takia, how you worked your way from, well, not from, because you're still doing cosmetology as well as the Girl Scouts and all of that. Tell us how you
Yeah.
work through all of that, and you find yourself able to write.
Okay. So I did cosmetology school in high school, and then I joined the army in high school. I did both of those at 17 years old. And so I spent 15 years in the army. When I was transitioning from full active duty into the part-time world, I opened up a children's hair salon called Royally Pampered Kids Spa, and that was in Waldorf, Maryland. I did that for about 2 years, and then I transitioned. I went back on active duty, and I came to Florida. So since I've been in Florida, I no longer have the children's studio, the hair salon at the moment, but I do Mary Kay, which is a cosmetic line. And so through that, I still talk to the young girls, and I still communicate with young girls, as well as the troop leader. So I've always been fascinated with younger me. I've always wanted, I believe that when you can reach them when they're younger, and you can help to mold them, kind of groom them, and teach them the ways that it is to go, so that
Mhm.
when they get older, they already have everything together. So that's why I've always been, interested in young girls, mentoring, coaching, and things of that nature with the young girls. So as a Girl Scout troop leader, we have 7 little girls in our troop right now, and we're about to
Mhm.
go to middle school. So I'm a little concerned because the middle school age is where in Girl Scouts where we lose a lot of girls,
Mhm.
because they're finding themselves and they're going through
Right.
puberty and things of that nature, and they don't really think that Girl Scouts is what's in anymore. And so
Right.
with my daughter, I'm trying to continue to keep her in Girl Scouts until after she graduates from high school, and then she can do what she wants after. She'll be an adult and she can make her own decisions. But right now we're working on STEM assignments, and just
Mhm.
them getting to know themselves, and their new bodies, their new brains that they have, because they're growing, and they're learning new things about themselves and other people. So it's just exciting to see. And
Wow.
yes, and I also do oh my goodness, what is it? Oh, help me.
Okay.
The
Um,
LPE.
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. The
Oh, the
etiquette.
etiquette program. That's what it's called, etiquette program. So
Mhm.
we do,
Oh,
yeah, so I'm picking that back up when I get back to Maryland, so that we can do
wow.
debutante balls and things of that nature. I just want to be complete the womanhood. So you have your personal hair care products and services offered to you. My daughter has a kids boutique that she just opened up for her birthday last week. So we're going to take
What?
care of the clothing, the dressing part, as well as the debutante ball, and teaching you how to be a lady. So
Oh my. I should have talked to you before I brought you on this show. You are just who I've been looking for. And I have
okay,
some people that can attest that I have been looking for someone who does etiquette for a while. But we're going to
okay,
talk more about that later.
yeah.
So one of the things I want to say, looking at you, you look like you belong in the Girl Scouts yourself. Do you ever get mistaken for one of the Girl Scouts?
Thank
And you
you.
you you've had you've done a lot, as you said, and you've done the army. Both of you have. Um, let's start right there. Like, what prompted you to go into the army, Miss Vanessa?
Well, I was married to I got married young. I was 17. I had my daughter at 17. Was separated from my husband by 18, divorced by 19. But he was
Mm,
in the military. So I was a
okay.
military spouse. Even though we were divorced, I got, started my life and worked various jobs. I worked 7-Eleven, post office, Shoppers Food, all over the place for real. And I just couldn't find no benefits. So
Mm.
my dad passed away in 1984, and my mom retired. She continued to work for the post office, but she retired in 94. Um, and it was hard for her. So no,
Excuse
she
me.
retired in 88. And it was so hard for her, and they didn't give her his benefits. So I was trying to, help my mom. So I was working two jobs, delivering pizza, working at 7-Eleven. And I was just like, wow. I had went in the military at 18, and I stayed for 1 year. I didn't like it. I got out. But I thought about
Mm.
the benefits, and thank God that I did, complete basic training in AIT, and I was able to get back in. So I went back in 1994. I was 34 years old, and my goal
Mm.
was to get them 20 years so I could, retire and get them benefits. And it was the best move that I really could have ever made because Uncle Sam, it was a lot to do, but like I said, it allowed me to go to school, get 3 degrees, to get my daughter and the youngest one. I have two daughters, but kids kind of followed in my footsteps, and that was just such a blessing as well. The older one didn't go, but I look at the ones that didn't go, and then they look at us that we can be retired,
Right.
and they say they wish they had. Yeah.
Mm. So that, yeah, wow. Because I don't think I would have made it past basic training day one.
You would have. It's a mindset. When we first got to basic training, it was fun because when you first get there, you away from home and like, okay, they're gonna pay for it. You ain't got to worry about rent. No, none of that for the next 3 months, right? No clothes. So you go. They give you uniforms, so you're not going away to wear no civilian clothes. So if you bought some, that you just pack them up because you're not going to use them for 8 to 12 weeks, right? But and then you get to meet people from all over the world, from different walks of life. When you think that, I came from DC, I was raised in DC, Southeast, and like it's the hood over there. And
Mhm.
so, but people come from all walks of life.
Mm.
Some haven't didn't have it as good as we had it. Some had it a lot worse. But just to be connected to them, then we was on one accord because you have to be the Army values. You have to learn them, and you do everything as a unit. So it's no I in team. And they teach you
Mhm.
that. And you learn that very well when you're in the military. You need your battle buddies. And so, I thank God for the opportunities, the people that I met along the
Mm.
way. It definitely broadened my, horizon, my thought process, opened me up to new opportunities and, to be able to do what I'm doing now.
That is great. So,
Mhm.
why would you follow in her footsteps? I know she said it sounds great. Um, I read your book, and it didn't sound like you were on the great end of what she was doing in the beginning. So, tell me why you would follow in her footsteps.
So growing up, I because she went back in, I spent a lot of time around the military, her military family, and her coworkers, and so I was like, I don't know, like I like the family because it's a family. They were family oriented. They did a lot of programs. They took me places. We got to eat good food, and I got to go on vacation, travel, see different things that I wouldn't have been able to see on my own. But the thing that got me into the military was actually one of my girlfriends from cosmetology class. She signed up and she came to school and was like, "Oh, I joined the army. I'm leaving for basic training, all this and all that." I'm like, "Girl, you going in the army?" Because she's like, yeah, she's a diva. So I was like, "You going into the army, really?" So she said, "Yeah, you should join me. You should go with me. We can be battle buddies." So I was like, "Okay." So I'll sign up for the buddy plan. I didn't see her anymore until October. We went in June. I didn't see her again until October. She got injured, and so she never
Oh,
completed her basic training process.
wow.
Thank goodness that we weren't together because I probably would have had to carry her through the 12-mile ruck march to make sure that she made it through. But she ended up separating, doing a medical separation, and I continued to stay in. Um, I'm glad that I stayed in. It was very beneficial for my children,
Mhm.
for my family. Like I said, we've seen so much stuff that the typical um, person hasn't seen. A typical civilian, I would say, hasn't really seen
Mhm.
some of the things that we've experienced. So I am thankful that I got to meet her family as a young girl, and that they loved on me because we worked together for about 14 years. We actually worked in the same building together. So we were in like some of the same units and things of that nature.
Wow.
So it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I grew up with them. And one thing that was so funny was when we walk around the building, she outranked me. But I would always call her mom no matter what the rank was. And so people would be like, why are you calling this grown lady mom? Like, what are you doing? She's my mother. What? That's your mother? So for even working together all that time, people still didn't know she was my mom until I
Wow.
left in 2016, 2017. When I left, there were still some people that didn't know she was my mom. But we did
Mm.
lunch together. Um, we did trips, book signings. We do everything together. That's my bestie.
Wow. That's awesome. So, did you actually start writing while you were in the military or after
Yeah.
you, oh, both of you?
Yes.
Yeah, so we were I was HR and HR the whole career. Takia, she had some different MOSs, but I kind of started writing. With the books, I started doing collaborations.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. That's awesome. So you were taking that time and, building up something to come out with as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. So let me talk to Miss Vanessa for a quick minute about grief. How did you? I know you say because of your family, you really moved into the line of grief, counseling and coaching and all of that. How did you transition into that though, from where you were?
Well, I have several nieces and nephews. Like I said, I had three sisters and a brother, and me being the only one left, I know they were struggling as well. Then my
Mhm,
kids were struggling because they missed my sisters too, and I was trying to
mhm.
figure out a way that I could kind of mentor and guide them. Um, my
Okay.
aunt, I have one aunt left on my mom's side. My mom had 12 brothers and sisters as well, so they passed away.
Mm,
So our family just really shrunk in a matter of years. It seemed like somebody was passing like every 6 months one time, and it was just like, oh my goodness, you know. So I had to get something, some type of therapy for myself, and I started by going to the VA, and they was recommending counseling, and like I said, I was trying to figure out what my exit plan was. So I became life coach certified,
mhm,
Christian counseling certified, but the joy and grief restoration one was the one that stuck with me because I can
mm,
identify with them. I feel
mhm,
their pain. I know what they're going through, and I can give them tools and tips to help them get
mhm.
to the other side of grief.
Wow. And I saw that it seemed like that grief, even though she's not calling herself a grief coach, it seemed like that trickled down even in your writing,
Mhm.
Takia. As I was reading your chapter in the pendulum, I could see you even speaking to those who were grieving in there. So do you feel like even when you're speaking and coaching people, you kind of got some of what your mom had, and you're sharing that as well.
Yes, definitely. Again, you live with the grief and you move through it.
Mhm,
A lot of Pendulum of Mother's Love came out of my aunt's relationship, which was her baby sister. So a lot of the things that we went through as a family was
mhm,
portrayed in that book, in Pendulum of Mother's Love. That's what kind of birthed it and gave it life, was the passing of her sister and some of the relationships
mhm,
that we're still trying to mend, and the fences that we're still trying to mend. So, yes, I definitely believe that her grief has rubbed off on me. I try to stay away from grief because I want to be happy and bubbly. However, everything's
mhm.
not happy and bubbly. So some days
Right.
you cry, some days are sad. So I
Mhm,
want to live. I want people to see me in the real world life. So again, some days are great and peachy and quick cream, and some days aren't. So I just love, the ins and outs and the whole realm. of it. So yes, definitely discuss a little bit of grief. In all of my books, I think there's like a touch or two of grief in them. Um, and again, like you were saying, you know, your mom is no longer with us right now, and a couple of the authors in my book, their moms are no longer with them either. So
Mhm.
it was kind of good for them to be able to express themselves and share what their relationships was like with their moms while they were
Mhm.
here, as well as the book that's coming out is going to be to share about the relationship that they have with their daughters. So I'm bringing it full circle. I want everyone to be involved and included in Pendulum projects, and so yeah, it's
Wow.
exciting.
That's so great. So with your now you've written also, I believe you've written some Miss Vanessa, some children's. Didn't you do some children's books as well?
Yes. So my granddaughter, she has a book out, Cammie's spa party, and then I have a book out about grief for kids, nieces and grandma. So Niecy loses her grandma in the book, and it teaches kids how to deal with grief, as a child. And the characters are actually my family members. I use real, my real, because Niecy was one of my little cousins that passed away, and I put her
Wow.
name in the book, and I use my uncle's like and my dad's nickname in the book as the characters. So that's the one thing about being an author. You kind of can, create your characters the way you want to, and it's
Right.
creating memory. Building on living, continue to build on the memories that you had. So letting other people
Hmm.
know that, hey, if we don't create these wonderful and fabulous memories now, one day we'll be gone, and what will people have to remember us by? And so I use my platform now with the books to talk about, my family members, because it helps me to, and my nieces and nephews, when I go home, I give them a book and they say, wow, you got my mom in here. Yes, my dad's in there. You just talk about my dad. Yeah, because like I said, we have to keep their memories alive. And like I said, it's okay to talk about them. We will all want to be talked about even after we're gone.
Hmm.
If we ever
Right.
live, we will be thought of and spoken of.
Right. Yeah. Wow. 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 So that's I love the whole thing. So now you've got three generations of writers.
Yeah.
And you're also women who are helping other women and helping other girls and people in general to get through their issues and get through their circumstances. This is just really amazing. So as we are in, as I said earlier, we are in this Women's History Month, and we're talking about a lot of people, like they like to bring up a lot of people who are gone on. We appreciate everything they did, but there is
Hmm.
so much living legacy right among us, some living legends and some great women doing some great things. So I really wanted to um, when Takia told me that her mom was also a writer, I was like, yeah, we got to get her on there too. I said, bring the daughter too. But we're just so glad that you ladies have joined in. Someone says, Doris says, because of all that is happening in the world today, these are much needed books. Absolutely, Miss Doris. And that's what I was thinking too. This is a time now where grief is not even about losing a loved one. This time that we're in right now, grief is just so many definitions for grief. Talk a
Yeah.
little bit about that, if you will, either one of you.
Yeah, so like you said, the world is still grieving. I mean, from COVID, we lost so many people. I mean, and our lives changed because people lost jobs, and those jobs will never come back. You see what I'm saying? Businesses shut down. I mean, it just was a change, a shift. But like I
Mhm.
said, well, there was a shift that was happening, and people, you have to be recognize that there's a shift. That God is doing some new things in the earth, right? So, like you said, with Women History Month, it is our time to shine. The platform that you have, I really admire you for having this platform and for opening up the doors
Thank
for
you.
so many people. When you
Thank you.
start to open doors, then God continues to open doors for you.
Ah,
So it's all a part of His plan. There's always
yeah.
something bigger, You see what I'm saying? When you
Mm,
start put your foot forward and move in the right direction, and you start opening up the door, facing the fear, because a lot of people want shows, but they're afraid. A lot of people want to become an author. They don't know the steps. So when you
mhm.
start to try to teach them the steps, come on to my radio show. You can be you can do your own podcast. I can teach you how.
Right.
Having classes. This is what
Mhm,
is we have to continue to do. Because with
mhm,
the rising gas prices,
mhm,
in the 70s during World War II, they shut down, it was a gas shortage. They started
mhm.
rationing gas. So you have to be aware of all these things that could happen. And what would you do if you were put in that situation? We can't sit at
Right.
home and go crazy. We're going to still have our radio
Mhm.
shows and write books whenever it lifts, and then we'll have more products for them when
Absolutely.
the world
Absolutely.
opens back up, right? And be on our
Right.
knees praying, trying to save the world, save the nation, because God is still in
Mhm.
charge. You know, everything
Absolutely.
happens according to His will and His plan. But we have to keep our
Mhm.
eyes open and move forward. And with it, and think about it as doing it in an expeditious manner, because we don't want to keep
Mhm.
waiting, sitting on your gifts.
Right.
Tomorrow may never come. And that's why they say the graveyard is the richest place in the world, because people die with their dreams.
Mhm.
But with the business that you've started, the one that I've started, that my daughter has, our kids can live off of this for years to come. So we have to
Absolutely.
continue to move forward and do what God has called us to do.
Wow. So that is so powerful. I'll tell you, you really just spoke something right there, and I appreciate your words. Um, and God, as you said, He is really doing such great things, and even when it doesn't seem like it, you just have to, stick in there, stand strong, and just trust the process. As they say, trust His process, because
Right.
our process sometimes will take us down the wrong path, but trust
Hmm.
His process and it will lead us to where we need to go. Yeah, I've been doing some coaching and teaching some people, some of these things like you said, and I'm not, you know, I started doing on Monday nights, on first Monday nights, I started doing the Visionaries Roundtable, which offers several different people coming together to, converse about some things. And on the first one, I believe it was, one of the ladies said, most people would not open up their platform like that to others who was doing almost the same thing. But two things. One person that I, follow often, one of the things that she said when she was a guest on my show was, people will follow who they want to follow anyway. They're
Right.
gonna buy from who they want to buy from. None of that matters.
That's true.
But the other thing I remember is um, my ex-husband. I don't talk about it much, but my ex-husband, he taught me one business principle, and he used to own an establishment up in New York, and he said there were. It was one of those places where, New York, whatever it is, there's probably a million of them, right? There's one on every
Mm-hmm.
corner. So in his establishment, what they did was they would have, I believe it was Mondays, I believe it was first Mondays, and they would all shut down on first Mondays, but one would stay open. And they would allow everyone to come to that one to help build them up. It was sort of like a Black Friday on first Monday,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
But
I
they
like that.
came together, everybody with the same type of business, and they had these customers that could come and they would join together because right now our goal is to empower women. We're not
Mhm.
here to try to beat others out. We want
No.
to empower women. We want to help women and we want to build women.
Right.
Even if we just have a little bit, if I'm the bottom rung of the
Hmm.
stairs, that's what
Hmm.
I am. Somebody else might be at the top, but you gotta get on that bottom step to get to
Right.
the top,
Okay,
right?
that's true.
So,
Yeah.
I love what you're saying here, and that's what we have to learn to do. We have to learn that we are all here to be a help to one another. Whatever
Hmm.
we have learned, whatever we have inside of us, it is to share with others. And so I appreciate the fact that you're doing it not just with other people on the outside, but you're starting even right in your home. Because, you
Mhm.
know, the Bible tells us to be good stewards even in our families. And what does it say? Charity begins at home, right? Love begins at home.
Right.
Well, I don't know if the Bible said that, but we know
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
know that
it
that's
does.
where the charity begins, you know, because if you don't train up your children in the way that they should go, you know, who's going to follow you, right?
Right.
So I love that. I love that. I love that. Your books have a lot of common denominators. You know, many are geared towards family, motherhood. How is your actual relationship as mother-daughter? I know you told us a little bit, but just tell us the real deal right now. We want to know the real truth.
So
Yeah. Well,
I'll go first,
okay.
Mama.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we love each other. Like I said, we've worked on most of her book projects I've been a part of somehow. We worked together in the building for 14 years together. And I love her to pieces. However, we still disagree on certain things, and she still scorns me and fusses me out when she wants to.
A
But it
mother's
works for
right.
us. Yes, she does fuss me out, and she wanted to pinch my cheeks and all types of stuff. Um, but at the end of the day, we, she respects the fact that I'm grown, and sometimes it's okay for me to tell her no or I disagree. She'll listen, and I really appreciate that about her. But nonetheless, we are amazing as friends. So we can have like girlfriend chatter and talks and things of that nature, and she'll listen to me. We talk about anything, like everything. We talk about it. If it kind of came up in my life, we've talked about it, like everything. And I appreciate her. I look at some of my girlfriends who their mom are no longer with us, or they don't have a relationship with their moms. Um, and they were always like, people were always asking, like, how does it feel to work with your mother? And how are you so close? And so I'm like,
Right.
I love her. I cherish her. I treasure her. Um, she's my little, I don't know, it's like my honey pot. I just love her so much.
Oh,
But
that
again,
is
we do not
beautiful.
get along every day. Every day we may have some disagreements or some conversations need to be had. And she'll just say, well, look, I'm just gonna tell you, and then that's when she's put her mommy hat back on. Okay, well, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Wow.
Absolutely. I mean, because she's my daughter and she's been my baby, for over 35 years. So, like I
Mhm.
said, we do have a good relationship because we work together. So, I respect her as a mother. I mean, I want her to be the best mom ever. And that was what my mom wanted for me because we all
Mhm.
realize that we're living out this is a real life situation. You see what I'm saying? We can't stay here forever. You want to teach your children what you can, your nieces and nephews,
Mhm.
or whoever God has called you to lead, whether they're stepchildren or whatever. Your bonus kids. You want to be the best person that you possibly can to them. And like I said, I was
Mm.
born in the 50s, the late 50s, 59. But yeah, times have changed. So that means I've seen a lot of
Mhm.
things, and the world is changing. So you have to keep
Absolutely.
your eyes open. Um,
Mhm.
try to keep people off drugs. Like I said, I went through a drug thing, and my life hasn't always been a bed of roses. I've had plenty
Right.
of thorns, but I
Mhm.
appreciate God saving me, saving my life, and allowing me to do these things to show my children, to show my nieces and nephews, anything is possible if you just believe. And you
Just
can start with
believe.
that little mustard seed of faith and
Mm.
walk it out.
Mm. That's real good. That's real good.
Mhm.
So, I had a question. Oh, it went in my head and right back out. I had a question that popped up in my head. Oh my goodness, I better write it down next time. Um, oh goodness. So what do you have coming up on the horizon? You all, you say you are, oh, I wanted to ask you, do you all ever actually, speak together on stage as a team?
Yes, we used to have a radio show. We had Life You Imagine radio show. When Takia moved to Florida, we opened up a station. And when we had the station, things kind of changed because we bought a station and we have shows every day. So that took away the fun of it. So we switched from the radio show, went back to doing books. now God is opening up so many doors, but I do miss my radio show. So I think when she comes back to Maryland and we all get settled in,
Mhm.
then we can think about starting a radio show. But the next thing that I'm working on is a collaboration. I do 90-day devotionals with women
Mhm.
and men, and we have 90 authors, and we all write for one day. In my projects, I teach them the process, you know. So it's not that just they'll get the book come out in print,
Mhm.
and then it'll be in audio as well. And then they learn how, because I tell them, pay attention to the steps that we're going through because you can duplicate this. So most of
Mhm.
my co-authors come out and they start doing their own collaborations.
That's
They start,
beautiful.
I open up the door. I mentor, coach on the side to make sure that they have what they need. But when they join us, it is the guaranteed to become a best-selling author in our projects. So most of them are
Mhm.
amazing. This has allowed me to coach over 300 authors to becoming bestsellers in my projects. So I'm just thankful. So Joy Come in the Morning will launch in the late spring, early summer, and that'll be
Okay.
the project. I do one a year, and I'm excited. And then I'm getting ready to get my honorary doctorate soon. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Not tight. This is
Yes.
God. Yes, He is.
Congratulations.
Yes, and He's doing some fabulous things. So that's the end of March. So we're working on that. And then Takia is working on a project as well. But that's what we do, collaborations, and teach you how to do collaborations. So if that's what you're looking for, or any of the listeners are looking for, definitely inbox me because I want to start an academy. I really can respect what you're doing, Miss G, and see how we can work together. Because I teach my co-authors, hey, it is teamwork make the dream work. It's enough out here for all
Mhm.
of us.
That's
The money
right.
ain't doing nothing but circulating. It's just going around. So if you have it
Mhm.
today and you give me a little bit tomorrow, I'm okay. And Kid can get hers for next
That's
week
it.
too. You see what I'm saying? So it's
That's
okay.
That's
Yeah.
the principle. That's the principle.
Yeah.
And we miss it sometimes. We miss it
Hmm.
because, we're looking at, oh, I can't do this, but sometimes you have to give. That's the principle, the biblical principle. You got to
Yes.
give to get,
Yes.
so you can't be stingy. You holding that talent in your hand that
Yes.
God gave you,
Mm-hmm.
trying to bury it in the ground. Come on now. You got to use that
Hmm.
thing.
That's
That's
right.
awesome. Let me ask you, do you already have all of your 89 authors? Someone here maybe, trying
So
to,
so I do, but Takia has a project that she's working on because my
oh,
mine is getting ready to go to the publisher now. But
okay.
like I said, with her project, I do one a year, so we'll be doing another one. I'll be putting a new one out soon, but I'm getting ready to send this one over to the editor. We'll start our marketing, so we definitely want them to purchase Joy Comes in the Morning because we get ready to light social media up real soon.
Awesome. And so your other works that they can find now, the Grief Help series and Finding Joy in the Journey, these are some of the works that you have already done, correct?
Yes, ma'am. So I have 19
And I,
books out, and you can find them
how
on my
many?
website. 19.
19. Ooh. And
Yes,
they can
Lord.
find that on your website here.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome, awesome. And the good part about it is when they get mama, they usually get daughter too, don't they?
Yes. Oh, it's
That's
such a
so
fun deal.
awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So
It's like
Miss
a
Takia,
bonus.
Yes.
yeah, a good bonus. So what do you have going on, Miss Takia?
So I'm working on Pendulum too, and that book is about from mothers' perspectives of their children. So there's a two-part series of it. So there's one part if you're a mom of daughters, then we have a book for you. If you're a mom of sons, we have a book for you. If you have both,
Oh,
you kind of get to pick where you want to go. You can tell your story about both, but you pick which
wow.
home, so to speak, you want to be in, because the
Right.
audiences are different for both genders, I would say. But Pendulum
Mhm.
2 is coming out soon, and we're still looking for authors for that book. Um,
Wow.
and again, it's about the relationship that you have with your child, where you are now. We're trying to mend the fence between moms and their children, moms and their babies.
Mhm.
When children get grown or older, hit like the stage of puberty maybe, and up there, there's something in their brain that goes snap, and they think they know everything. And when they think they
Mm,
know everything, they kind of stop listening to their moms um, for advice and guidance. Say, I have
right.
in mind, I know what I'm doing. I don't really have to listen to
Mm-hmm.
you. They start giving you attitudes and
Mm-hmm.
putting you through things that you shouldn't be going through with them.
Right.
But they happen. Just because it's happening in your life doesn't mean that it's not happening in someone else's life. So if you share your story
Right.
today, you may help our sister mom
Absolutely.
tomorrow or next week from where they're heading. So we can write your story in the book now, like my mom says. Everyone has a book that just needs to be birthed. So I'm assisting
Mm-hmm.
with birthing those books for moms. Collaborations, anthologies are the best way to get started if you are thinking about becoming an author because you have a
Mm-hmm.
family. We're a sisterhood. Um, and we're family. So we learn together. We go through the whole writing process. Again, just like my mom said, you'll go through from A to Z, writing the book, publishing the book, get the book edited, doing your marketing packages, things of that nature, magazine features, and radio show
Mm-hmm.
opportunities like this one today. So there are lots of different
Mm-hmm.
opportunities that you receive when you join projects, our projects. And so I just look forward to anyone that wants to share their parenting details with us. Because again, there is no parenting book. Like I have a 17-year-old. He'll be 18 in a couple of months, and there's no
Ooh,
book out there to say,
wow.
"Hey, this is how you do it." So I've made some bruises and some bumps along the way, and some
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to my mom advice, and some I've kind of again I'm grown, so I want to take my own route, and I learned that her way was probably better. So
Wow.
we went again, and some people don't have like moms or sisters; they're not really close. So we want to kind of
Mm-hmm.
close the gap. So if I could be your sister, your mom's sister, and you are, you have another mom's sister, and we all share together, we can combat this
Mm-hmm.
parenting um, and mend the fence between the children and the parents, and have happy families that are one that can sit down and have a cup of coffee and tea together.
That is great. And so I've posted on the screen your contact information. There's your email, pendulum of a mother's love at gmail.com, and your website, authortakia.mystrikingly.com. So you can definitely follow these ladies. They have a lot to offer. They have some great information. And Takia she's the real writer, so she's been multitasking over here. She, she's been chatting with y'all
Yes.
as well as having this conversation. So we've had some great women here. We had Sun City, Florida in the house. We had Yorktown, Virginia. We had New York. I'm sorry, not New York. We had another area of Florida, and we also had Richmond, Virginia in the house. And I'm sure there's some others that has not said hello yet, but they're out there watching. So we're just so excited for all of you, and I'm excited for you ladies that have taken the time to join us on today. And so I believe that um, you just talked about mothers and daughters who are out there struggling to connect with each other, and so you're offering opportunities for that. um, I'm just going to ask if you have any final words, either of you, for our audience, those mothers, those daughters, or those big sister friends, who just want to be out there for, because I don't have any natural children, but I had six godchildren. They're all grown now, so I don't know. I got somebody else's kids somewhere around. I just love kids and I love people. So just tell us what it is that you would like to share with our audience before we leave today.
Well, my thing would be take one day at a time. It's a lot happening in the world today. Stay focused. Start journaling. You too can become an author, a coach, a speaker. What is your next? Think about that.
Mhm.
Find joy in your journey. I mean, it's the little things. People look at it as to be big, but it's not. It's to look at the small things. Birds, the flowers, the trees. If you like one little plant, buy it, water it, and see it grow. And we
Right.
all grow like flowers, and we have seasons in our lives where it's not as fruitful as others. But then there do
Mhm.
come a time that you will reap a harvest if you continue to plant seeds, right?
Mhm.
So plant seeds of joy, hope, be a blessing to someone else, and God will continue to bless you, uplift others. Because, like I said, that is how I find joy. And that all of my books are about finding joy in the journey, because I'm always looking for joy, hope, inspiration,
Mhm.
to encourage, to motivate. Because you got to always think about somebody has it worse than I have. You think we
Right.
have bad days, but somebody has it worse. So if your
Mhm.
head is above the dirt, you have something to be thankful for. So I can thank you, Miss
Absolutely.
Gwen, for sharing with me and Tequila on this lovely evening. This has been phenomenal,
Absolutely.
and I look forward to talking to you and working with you in the near and distant future.
Awesome. Thank you. Same here. And you're not far, so you might see me knocking.
Yes, come on.
I know that's right.
Takia,
Um,
would you like to share something?
yes, ma'am. So the one thing that I would like to say is to forgive, and before you forgive, be able to say that I'm sorry. I know that a lot of relationships, when the fences are burnt or broken down, it's because someone doesn't want to say I'm sorry, and someone else doesn't want to forgive. So my thing would be to say I'm sorry. Ask, can you sit down and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea? I don't drink coffee. I'm a tea lover. Ask if you can have a cup of tea and sit down and bury the hatchet with whatever may have went on.
Right.
Everybody has a past, and you can't take back the past. You can't do anything about it. You can change as a person, you can grow as a person, and you can move forward and do things differently. You can move differently. But
Mhm.
again, you have to start with that hard conversation of I apologize and I forgive you. So if you can get started there, then that is the first blessing of mending the fence that we want to mend. And it's hard. It's not easy. It's very, very hard to, say I'm sorry sometimes or to accept someone else's apology. However, we're here. There are people here to help you. I'm here. Um, I don't sleep very much at night, so you can call and text me whenever or
Wow.
email me. I'll be there to kind of help you get through that fence if you need help. But we don't know what tomorrow brings, so it's better to go ahead and have those conversations today if you still have the opportunity, because again, you don't know what tomorrow brings. So
That's
I'm
right.
sorry, I love you. Those words work wonderful and many fences. So you're a happy
Mhm.
family.
Wow. And that's not just mother and daughter, but it's just for people in general. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, ladies. It's been a pleasure hosting you all on tonight. And I look forward, as I said, to spending more time getting to know you ladies. I followed you all on Amazon, so I'm ready for whatever you got coming out. And all of you just go on over there and follow them on Amazon, or just follow them on their websites and check out their goods that they have to offer. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing all the great things that I know is getting ready to come from you all. And you have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you so much.
So, all of our guests on tonight that have joined us, thank you so much. Yes, they are amazing women, and so are you. So are you, each and every one of you that is here in this studio. I know that we're sometimes sitting here in these seats, but there's so many people that can come and that can share stories and great testimonies and great things that they are doing. And hey, don't be afraid to reach out if you're interested in actually doing that. I would love to have you right here in Miss G's Ladies Lounge. This is a place where you can come. My theme song, I have to find the actual one with the words. I just play the one now with the music, but the words say, relax and let your hair hang down. That's what we do here in Miss G's Ladies Lounge. So listen, thank you again for joining us. I'm going to just tell you one more time about my little project that I have. It's not a little project, it's a big project. But the project that I have now that I'm releasing, it is called the Visionaries prayer guide, the Visionaries Prayer Guide. So listen, if you're interested in pre-ordering your Visionaries Prayer Guide, I will be putting the link in the chat where you can pre-order that, or you can just send me an email or inbox me, and I'd love to help get your name on the list, because as these ladies just told you, there is so much that you have inside of you is waiting to come out, and you don't have to wait another minute, but maybe you just need some guidance in how to pray and bring it into fruition. So let's do this, ladies. We are some of the greatest women in the world. So let's let the world know what we have. Until next week, I will see you again. Have a great night.